It started on one of those muggy Monday mornings, where even the air feels judgmental. Thick-as-y, like it's listening to every creaky porch and whispered lawn feud. I'd just gotten off a brutal 12-hour shift, still in my work shoes, my shirt stained with stress and takeout sauce. All I wanted was to coast into my driveway, drag myself inside, and melt into the couch. But before I could even shut off the engine, she appeared Miranda Pickens. Clipboard in hand, sun visor perched like a crown of HOA tyranny, marching across the gravel like she'd been summoned by the sound of tires. "You can't park there," she snapped. "That's for homeowners." I blinked. I am the homeowner. She raised an eyebrow, like I'd just told her I was the Easter Bunny. "No, sweetie, you rent. Check the bylaws." Let me back up a sec, because the irony, I didn't just own my side of the duplex. I owned the whole property, her unit included. I bought it 4 months ago after her landlord finally gave up, probably from the ulcers she gave him. I hadn't moved in right away. Had a friend staying in my unit while I oversaw renovations remotely. But from day one, Miranda had acted like she ruled the block. Weekly lawn inspections, fines for sidewalk chalk. Once she even called animal control because a neighbor's cat looked at her funny. Yeah, that kind of energy. So there I was, bone-tired, just trying to get inside without tripping over her nonsense. And she's out here measuring trash bins and citing dress code violations. "You'll be hearing from the HOA," she threatened, as I walked toward my door. "That bin is 3 degrees off regulation." I paused, turned around and said, "You measured my trash can. That's a Class B infraction," she barked. What she didn't know yet was that I'd just been elected to the HOA board. Uncontested. A couple of well-placed calls and a donation to the Neighborhood Scholarship Fund got me the chair of the Ethics Subcommittee. I hadn't planned on using it so soon, but Miranda basically handed me the gavel. That night, I filed an agenda item for misuse of authority by the resident of Unit A. The board approved it in under 10 minutes. I sipped my coffee and watched through the blinds as Miranda meticulously adjusted her gnome army, totally unaware that her reign was on a countdown. 3 days later, I found a neon orange citation taped to my garage door: unauthorized commercial vehicle parking. She'd emailed the violation with blurry surveillance footage of my car directly to the HOA, except the timestamp from inside my garage. That's when I realized she'd angled a camera across the property line. In our state, that's not just creepy, it's illegal. So instead of flipping out, I replied to the HOA email thread. "Interesting footage. Can we clarify where this was recorded from? Want to make sure my rights aren't being violated." Miranda couldn't help herself. "My camera's legal." She wrote back, "If you have nothing to hide, don't worry." She attached more photos of my bin lid, slightly ajar. Of me, tying my shoe, of my friend Brian dropping off tools. "Suspicious delivery activity," she wrote. "Rick from the board," replied Miranda. "Are you filming your neighbors again?" Then Angie, a retired schoolteacher and low-key neighborhood legend, DM'd me. She tried to fine my grandson for having a wheelchair ramp. "I've got your back." I forwarded everything to the HOA legal contact. 10 hours later, Miranda's citation was withdrawn. Mine erased, and an official investigation opened. But she didn't back off. She doubled down. The next day, she marched up with arms crossed and said, "So, your little buddies are protecting you now." I looked her dead in the eye. "Miranda, I am the board, and your HOA voting rep, and your landlord's boss." She blinked. Your what? Yep. Bought the whole property. Both units. Her mouth opened like she was about to say something, and then nothing. Just silence and fury. The next week, a new bylaw passed unanimously. No surveillance devices may face any portion of another unit's private space. Proposed by me. Inspired by Miranda. Then came her noise complaint. Said my unit was producing industrial banging. In reality, Brian, who uses a wheelchair, was setting up a hydraulic lift and an adjustable table. Not a construction site. But Miranda called the city anyway. The inspector came out, saw what was going on, and well, it backfired hard. ADA protections kicked in. Turns out, even filing complaints against accessibility improvements can qualify as discrimination. The city opened a formal review. HOA suspended all of Miranda's enforcement privileges. When I told her, she spat. This is retaliation. But from behind me, Brian rolled forward and said, because it looks like you just got benched. That line hit so hard, even the inspector cracked a smile. But Miranda's pettiness knows no bounds. She forged a maintenance request under my name, trying to get the shared gate adjusted for symmetry, which just happened to give her more yard space. She pasted in my old email signature typos and all. But those requests trigger audits. Inspectors showed up, looked around her side of the duplex, and uncovered a goldmine of violations. Unpermitted patio expansion trellis, drilled into a storm drain, and a gazebo built over a utility conduit. They fined her over $3,000, ordered it all torn down, and added a new clause. No structural changes without owner ID and board approval. Her appeal, denied. You'd think after all that, she'd cool off, but no. She filed a restraining order claiming I was running a psychological warfare campaign. Brought evidence of fake texts with phrases like neutralize Miranda and Operation Floodlight. One was even dated February 30th. My lawyer pointed out the messages were made in Microsoft Word 2 days after. She filed the claim. The judge dismissed it on the spot. And the final blow. Her lease. See, I don't micromanage the property manager, but when she showed up screaming about discrimination and demanding a meeting, they brought her straight to me. The look on her face when she realized I was sitting at the head of the table with her lease file open. Worth every ounce of stress. You, she whispered. Yep, I said. And this is your formal lease termination. 30 days to vacate. She trembled, tried to argue, but it was over. Angie baked a cake shaped like a moving truck. Rick posted a notice on the HOA Portal Unit A occupancy change pending. Sometimes the HOA doesn't evict you. Your behavior does. The day she left, she marched out with her clipboard, held like a flag of defeat. I watched from the porch, coffee in hand, as the moving truck pulled away. And just like that, the air felt lighter, like the neighborhood could finally breathe again. But here's the thing. I've told this story to friends, to neighbors, even to my barber, and everyone asks the same question. Why didn't you kick her out sooner? Truth is, I wanted to see who she really was, and now the whole neighborhood has seen it too. So tell me, if you had a Miranda on your street, what would you have done? Was I too patient? Or just patient enough? Drop your thoughts in the comments. I've got time now that my trash can's finally angled to regulation.